Now may I request Dr. Supriyo Sarkar to come up on dais. Dr. Supriyo Sarkar is from R&D section, Tata Steel Limited, Jamshedpur, India.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm very thanks to our organizing committee for getting this opportunity. My actually presentation is based on steel industry, basically, and how this steel industry needs to survive for sustainable growth in future. So that is actually entire topics. Before that, I just introduce the R&D Tata Steel. R&D Tata Steel is established in 1937. Right now we have a 180 research professional, and it has two verticals in terms of process and product. This process vertical and product vertical, both are report to R&D chief, and chief is reported to Vice President Technology and New Business. In this vertical is a coal and coke is another research group, agglomeration is one research group, steel making, iron making, ferroalloys and raw materials, all these are related to process. Related process is the iron making and steel making, and one of the research group is the environment and energy. Myself heading this environment and energy group. In the cheap product, under which the surface engineering, basically the coatings, corrosion, after finished product development, and non-destructive product applications and material characterization. These are the R&Ds. Now, any industry, the sustainability is completely depends on a term which is called the circular economy. This circular economy is also definitely is applicable to steel industry, because steel industry is one of the most energy intensive in it. It is around 7 to 9 gigacalorie per ton of crude steel and energy is required in terms of energy. If you go to in terms of water consumption, it may be the 3.5 to 4 meter cube per crude ton of steel. Another is that carbon dioxide, it is almost 1.9 to 2 ton per ton of crude steel production. So carbon dioxide is also a part of this huge, is around 9 to 10 of the global carbon dioxide emitted from steel industry. Now, now this circular economy is the raw material utilization of the raw material. It should be a steel industry to reduce the reduction of the raw materials, how to reduce the use of the raw materials for one of the source. And second is the how, once you reduce it, either or reuse either in the form of steel or it has similar purpose without significant altering the physical purposes. Suppose you are not able to reuse it, then remanufacturing. Another term is called the remanufacturing. So remanufacturing the material so that you can use in a different different form. And next is once is complete this reforming, that then go for the recycling of the entire things. Either recycling in terms of energy can be recycled, or water can be recycled, or GHG emission regarding the carbon dioxide, that can be also recycled. So right now, the most important threat in the steel industry is the sustainable growth. On this, particularly for sustainable, you have to maintain the production in terms of circular economy. Now, what are the R&D's initiative? Maybe in the ArcelorMittal, POSCO, and the world leader, there are also a lot of R&D's work is going on to maintain the sustainability in the coming, even in the 2013, 2050. Similarly, we have R&D, that is a lot of work is going on, either hiring the technology to adopt into the system, or technology can be developed with the help of academia institutions Another is the technology is there, how to make a fine tuning of the technology so that in terms of consumption of water, energy, emission can be less. One of the first is that effluent. Effluent means in terms of water. This water is also one of the most intensive unit in steel industry. About 3 to 5 meter cube per ton of steel water are using. Now, how to recycle the water? That is another challenge in the, because this water is coming out in steel industry is a various type of water. If steel industry has a integrated coke plant or recovery coke plant, the water is coming from the coke plant is a highly pollutant. So that water is one of the greatest challenge, how to reuse and recycle, because lot of impurities are there, particularly the organic compounds. It may be cyanide, thiacyanic and phenolic compounds. So normally, the steel industries are using some technology which is very common technology, but definitely that common technology not come up to the recycling of the entire water. It may be some of the water can be discharged. So that is a challenge right now, how to entire water can be recycling by using this different type of technology. Here is the R&D scope is there. So in Tata Steel, R&Ds are working in some of the area in the where some biological means. It may be the algae can be one of the area where right now you know that the genetically improved algae that actually can be used in the treatment of water. Is a scope of research. I just explain is the what are the scope is there. So we are actually working in the algae desalination through by using algae. Another the water is present in blast furnace water. This blast furnace water is also contain huge amount of cyanide and chloride. So if you continue the recycling the water, the chloride concentration will be increased. That chloride concentration, if goes up to 1500 ppm, then corrosion will start. So you have to remove the chloride from this blast furnace water. In the thermodynamical reaction, thermodynamical reaction, this cyanide is also formed during iron making process. And that cyanide is coming out into the flue gas along with the alkali. That is, once you just scrubbing the entire gas, the water contains cyanide also. So there another area of research where have to reduce the cyanide content as per the government, Indian Government Pollution Control Board. It should be less than 0.2 ppm. So a lot of research is going on for, so if you make the water to recycle, so you have to remove cyanide or you have to use that water in a different way where the cyanide is not impacted. Another area is the energy emission. That is, I already explained that one of the area where carbon dioxide is the emission is a huge amount of emission is carbon dioxide in the steel industry. It's around double in the per ton. And so there you have to how to reduce the carbon dioxide emission by using very good quality of the raw materials. That is one of the important part. But whatever the effort will go, it is very impossible to less than 1.8 ton per ton of steel. In that case, we have to looking for the alternative source of reduction process by using hydrogen. So these alternative iron sticking steel or reducing the by carbon dioxide by using hydrogen as a reduction source, where the hydrogen should be where the green hydrogen to be produced. So that is then the source of challenge is there. Definitely, blast furnace that hydrogen can be used. That type of blast furnace need to be developed, and it may will come by 2050. But production of hydrogen is a question. green hydrogen production is a question of how to produce the green hydrogen. So that is a challenge is there. So we have already started some of the work to produce hydrogen. You know the scrap is another way, that is a very common technique that using the scrap definitely. And heat also, I'm coming on my consecutive other slide, that waste heat generation, that we have a huge amount of heat generation in different places in terms of low heat area, suppose 80 to 120 degree temperature, the liquid lot of energy that can be converted this heat to electrical energy. And waste heat also recovery by thermoelectric materials development, that is a part of this. And others improvement existing system, that is already done lot of work, but R&D source is there, that organic Rankine cycle, that is one of the, your previous presentation is mentioned it, organic Rankine cycle is another area we can to develop in where the, I'm talking about in the area in between 80 to 120 degree temperature. That is a huge, around 9 gigagallon energy is available in a particular steel industry, more or less same operation throughout the world. And now solid waste. Steel industry is another waste is, I don't say the waste is a byproduct, that is a solid material. So most of the solid material is produced in the steel industry, the blast furnace slag, but that is completely 100% utilized in the cement industry. Only one solid waste, still now entire world is struggling, that is the LD slag, steel making slag. So steel making slag, lot of work is going on throughout the world, how to utilize the steel making slag. Because steel making slag have a different type of problem. One problem, this slag contains free calcium oxide. So this slag is a very good for the road materials, but you have to kill this calcium oxide to calcium hydroxide. Otherwise, volume expansion is a great threat for that. Second is contains phosphorus. So you cannot use again as a flux material for the LD process. So again, phosphorus goes to the steel. Third one, it is content 18 to 25% of iron content total. So that cannot be used in the cement manufacturer. So here is the scope is there. So how to stabilize the carbon calcium oxide to hydroxide in a very quickly, because if most of the case this LD slag is dumping in a particular place, it will take at least 1 year for stabilization. That is called the natural weathering. Now technology is already developed in Japan by using steam. If you use the steam, the stabilization can be happen within the 7 days. If it is an open staging, open area, aging system, or if you got closed aging system, that it may be within the 3 days. So that is one of the, just I have given an example to you. So that is the area we are working in. The R&D is a part of this, different approaches. I will come later on. So these are, any steel industries are, these are the 3 components for stability and sustainability. And definitely it is a coming days now, it is a threat for the steel industry, particularly the carbon dioxide, energy and solid waste. So this is actually just now, still now actually world benchmark is 2.3 meter cube per core steel. So these are the big players, those are in a, right now from this Tata Steel in around 3.5 meter cube. So this is the world picture along with the Indian steel, this JSW also there, SAIL also is there. So now now the steel industry, this is the find out the R&D's approach in the water research. Water research particularly, I explain you that almost all the steel industry is facing the problem too. One is the chloride, one is the cyanide. If we go for the chloride removal is a very common technology is the RO. It may be UF, it may be NF, but question is that it may be recovered 80 to 90%. What about the 10% reject that contains maybe the high content of chloride? So downstream process to be addressed, otherwise you are not able to address this entire problem because the quantity is very high. It may be minimum 200 meter cube to 400 meter cube per hour. So downstream process need to be very, very clear what we do for this. As we know, the downstream process is there that you go for the evaporation and then collect the water and the solid materials that is a hazardous. So again, dispose in the particular place. So that is a common technology. But challenge is that it is all is a very expensive in terms of energy, in terms of economy also. So we have to try to find out that technology alternatively. Alternative technology is available in other countries also, that they are using some of the algae. That algae has a good capability for enhancing the evaporation rate. Means the common evaporation rate of the sunlight, if it is a 1, some of the species of algae that can be enhanced to 5 to 6 times evaporation rate. So that technology is available, but definitely particularly that algae need to be find out. So that is the area we are looking for this. And another area where that cyanide is a part of this, but removal of the cyanide common process is available and technology is available, but in particular the water matrix, some of the technology is not applicable. In case just I give an example to you that cyanide present in blast furnace area, blast furnace water, and cyanide present in coke oven waste water is completely different because the matrix is different. Cyanide present in blast furnace water where the huge amount of ammonia is also generating during this reaction. So common technology which is available in the water treatment is not applicable. We have to find out the alternate technology where ammonia cannot consume the other chemicals. So that is the area where still now is survival questions for using this water, how to recycle the entire water. So these are the scope of the area where some of the world still, say POSCO and other, they are also developed is a very good chemical treatment by using one of the Nobel laureate, you know that in chemistry people know very well, that is a supramolecular chemistry. They are actually introduced it. We are also working in the supramolecular chemistry, how to capture this particular species of the cyanide and to remove it. So these are the scope for R&D is approaching towards effluent treatment for sustain this entire industry. Now coming back to the energy emission, these are the normally improvement of the energy efficiency of existing of the Tata Steel. These are already in a system, that performance improvement of chiller plant, cooling plant. These are the operational use, they are using it. Coke rate reduction in the blast furnace, that is one of the area. If you reduce the coke rate, so definitely carbon dioxide emission will come down. Or even in that you can use the low grade iron ore, where the aluminum silicate will be less, where the carbon dioxide will be less. So this waste heat recovery from exhaust gas, already the technology is available, we are using this type of technology. And CDQ is a part of this definitely. And maximum utilization of byproduct by using coke oven gas, that is these are already in a system we are using it. Now R&D take part in another way. Oh, actually we have I just explained you that we have some of the area in, not only in Tata Steel have some, where the integrated steel plant having a huge amount of effluent having a temperature in between 80 to 90, or 80 to 120 degree temperature, where organic Rankine cycle can be used to recover this waste heat. So that is the approach. But as I know that still now this low grade delta T, still now the technology is not, as I know, the technology is not, we are not find out. We are looking for some startup companies can be work together. We have already working. We have a small plant, is a 10 kilowatt, need to be scale up. Another area we are also same that I think PRT we are also try to find out that pressure reducing turbine can be used for some of the area. We can utilize that part also. And we also try to find out some thermoelectric generator by using thermochemistry, some of the compound, P-type, N-type compound we have to develop. And this is advanced process control for the cooling system. A lot of cooling system is there with the old one. It's a huge energy they are consuming. So huge chances is there to reduce the energy part. All this work is going on in terms of in a collaboration with them, academia and institution and universities, definitely. A lot of collaboration, I think, I have not just explained it because in Indian scene, everybody is clear that Tata Steel is a lot of collaboration with this, all this subject. Now, 1.8 ton per ton of carbon dioxide is another area. So right now, this is our target in 2030. We have to come out some technology by using hydrogen instead of carbon. For that, either we go for the carbon direct avoidance, inject the hydrogen from natural gas. So still now some government policy is associated with this by injecting hydrogen and hydrogen bearing materials. And second phase, the replacement of this BF route by this in-house technologies. That is also, I think, most of these metallurgical people has know. And hydrogen generation we need, because why need the hydrogen generation? Because two things. One is the replacement of coal, another is the carbon dioxide. We are looking for two steps. One is the carbon dioxide produced, that carbon dioxide has to be converted to compound without hydrogen. Hydrogen is not required. So we have to find out to some of the product where hydrogen is not required. Second question is that if another process, hydrogen is required, we go for alcohol, ether, etc. But definitely that third degree emission will come. But if we not use the hydrogen, we directly convert it to some of the product where the life cycle is more than 50 years. So in that case, carbon credit will come and totally stop the carbon emission. So the only possible, that is by hydrocarbon, polycarbonate. So we are also working with Toronto University. They have developed the process for this polycarbonate. So that is a scope is there, immense scope is there to produce. Even in India, we are working with IIC Bangalore and INST Mohali. These are the institutions we are working together to find out this product. Now, chemical looping conversion, another, we have some blast furnace gas. So by using this metal oxide to convert this to generation of hydrogen. So that is for we are working with Ohio University of USA for this work. And hydrogen from biomass, that is definitely, this is another challenge that government should be come out with this biomass, because network the biomass, collection of the biomass is a big challenge because of the volume and transportation. We are actually looking for biomass hydrogen generation with Bangalore IIC. We are looking for piloting, it may be 175 kg ton per day hydrogen, and then that hydrogen can be challenged. The creation of this biomass value chain is a challenge still now. That need to come out, hope so will come out within few years. Another area is the photoelectrolysis Still now it is not in a TRL level. This is called a TRL level. This is a technology readiness level. Definitely, we are working in the area where the TRL level is very less, 3 to 4, where we can go for joint together. If it is a more than 6, if it is a piloting, we can go for the piloting. So all this concept in, most of the concept in the piloting in stage biomass is also like this. So these are the area where hydrogen can be generated. So challenge is that how to generate hydrogen and utilize the hydrogen. Once hydrogen is used, you have to use it. But carbon dioxide mitigation means it's converted to alcohol or any other hydrocarbon. And capture of carbon dioxide definitely is a part of this. But still now we know that the amine is the best technology available still in the commercial. So that part need to be find out, but still we are working in the carbon dioxide, some of the area where new area that is called metal organic framework, using metal organic framework or covalent organic framework to capture the carbon dioxide instead of amine. Still now it is not in a TRL level more than 4. Yeah. Now, coming to my last, is another is the solid waste. The solid waste, I explain you that another area you have to concentrate in the solid waste in a utilized to value addition product, otherwise it is a threat for the sustainability of in steel industry. Almost double solid waste is generating per good ton of steel. We are addressing only, I am explaining only the steel industry facing problem in solid waste in the steel making slag or LD slag. Because of the peculiarity of the LD slag, we are facing a lot of problem. But some of the LD slag, the good quality is that they have a very good physical strength that can be used as substitute of the road making, even in the railway ballast. But everywhere the question is only one, that you have to stabilize before you use this. Otherwise, volume expansion is a great threat for that. So worldwide, lot of research is going on for this value addition of this LD slag or utilization. So we are actually also working, even in the POSCO, they are actually using this LD slag, particularly in the size fraction of 0 to 67 for ecological growth in ocean. Some of the very good ecological growth in ocean, that is why they are also using. We are also looking for the same applications, but definitely transportation is a big issue. So currently we have developed one product from LD slag that is called YOLO gypsum. This one. Now last few years we have developed it. We are looking for this YOLO gypsum as a soil conditioner or fertilizer. And throughout the India, we are making a cross section in the, like this east, west, south. Everywhere making a collaboration with all the agriculture universities and government organizations to come out for the use this material. Now we are in a way to just for government permission. So that is the area. If we break through that, definitely lot of materials can be used. And another area is that this calcium oxide which is present in LD slag, that can be converted to precipitate calcium carbonate by using some chemical technology. So that can also have a marketable product. And all this current, we are using the marine application also. We are waiting for some government permission. But definitely the POSCO is already started that work. We are ahead from our country definitely. So we are actually waiting for government permission where to use this LD slag in marine applications. We did work a lot with one of the CSR institute in Goa. And currently Tata Service energy storage material also, I just explained you that some of the area where we are in a mature state that can be used as a commercial stage also. In definitely, it is some of the work we are working in a general in the Tata Steel, and that can be translated to the other companies also, because it is a sustainable growth. It is not a particular solution of a particular industry. It is a global threat for this, all this which I have explained you. So these are the R&D's approach. We are actually working for definitely sustainable of the industry as well as the society also. And all this work actually related to, we have a huge collaboration work with throughout the India and abroad also. In all together for environment and energy area. I am not talking with the other area, only for the sustainability part of this. So thank you for this.
So thank you, Dr. Sarkar, for your outstanding presentation. Particularly, you are leading Tata Steel. You know, Tata Steel is leading our country in many aspects. So particularly in your presentation, so we have seen different kinds of mitigation strategies to prevent, to manage the different kinds of environmental hazards that is coming out through effluents or gaseous formation from steel industry processing. Different kinds of, it's a combination of different branches of science and technologies. You highlighted it in your lecture.
Yeah.
Considering chemistry, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering, as well as mechanical engineering. Exactly. So personally, I think the audience and personally myself, we have benefited very much from your lecture, application of different kinds of technologies. So just time is very short in our hands, so I am asking just one or two questions from the audience. Please.
I would like to ask the question that in Tata Steel, the water consumption you have shown 3.5 units. In POSCO it is 2.3, and in SAIL it is 3.4, and it's a Tata Steel and SAIL water consumption part is almost same, but POSCO's is much less. So what is the reason? Is it water quality or technology or something else?
Oh, yeah. Actually, this water consumption, the calculation is in case of Tata Steel, and in SAIL also, this is calculation from the starting from mines to end product.
In Tata Steel?
Mines to end product. That means the mines included and also the manufacturing unit. Say,
No, that thing happens to all steel plants because the manufacturing process is almost
definitely. So
but why it is so much less in POSCO? The water quality, whatever is drawn from the bottom ground.
No.
Is that?
No. The most of the water most of the water they are actually recycling it, and some of the here, suppose in Tata Steel, few water we are not able to recycle it. Treatment and up to the pollution control norms we can discharge it.
That is why.
Yeah, that is also part of this. We are looking for this. Definitely, our target for this less than 3.
But in case of SAIL, the average this water consumption is average to all SAIL plants.
Yeah.
The SAIL plants individually may be having different.
No, that is I don't know because it is from the World Steel data. There is altogether SAIL report.
Altogether, but in that case, whether it is justified to compare SAIL steel consumption with Tata Steel. Tata Steel is only one plant. And
Exactly. Definitely, you are absolutely correct. Some of the unit may be the less than the 3.4, but as per the government report, that is a totality.
Exactly.
Definitely.
My second question is that Tata Steel is modernizing continuously. So, in that respect, whether you have found that is pollution rate or effluent rate and all that, whether they are reducing.
Definitely, that is we are reducing because our next target is by 2023.
Right.
It should be less than 3 in case of
It's continuously
effluent.
going down.
Yeah, definitely.
And then in case of your solid waste treatment, are you using the entire slag for cement or you are doing something else?
70% of the, I am talking about the only the LD slag. Other material totally 100% use it.
100% you are doing.
100% use it.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Sir, in PET Cycle 1, the BE initiative for energy conservation, that is the PET, steel sector has performed very well in the Cycle 1. And now we have a PET Cycle 4. So my question is, as a R&D head, can you enlighten few projects that you people have initiated which really done a remarkable achievement in the PET Cycle 1 from the steel segment?
Actually, you are absolutely correct. We have a energy impact center. Tata Steel has a energy impact center. That energy impact center is headed by one of the vice president. So where a lot of, I'm just chalk down this lot, what are the initiatives taken by operational people. From these operational people, they are using a lot of use of waste heat energy by using different type of technology which is available. But in case of the R&D, if you come back to the R&D's initiative right now, R&D's initiative, one of these, the organic Rankine cycle. We have developed the solvent itself, and we are success in a temperature in between 80 to 100 degree temperature effluent. And that is a 10 kilowatt plant is continuous going on. We are looking for upscaling. That is one of the contribution. Second contribution by our cooling tower. We have developed one model of cooling tower by introducing some of the software and other calculations, and then now we are looking for totally using as our existing cooling tower. So these are the two remarkable example for the R&D point of view. Others operational common technology which is available in the market, they are using it for energy consumption. I am not talking about this entire, what is the, right now the Tata Steel energy consumption is 5.67 gigacalorie per ton crude steel. It is a standard is right now in the available in literature is a 6 to 6.5 in Indian steel industry. We have achieved less than 6.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Just one complimentary question. That in PAT4, is any R&D project is in process, or you have taken PAT4 cycle?
Not right now.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So time is very limited in our hand. So just I have one small question. That is, I have seen in your lecture, you use phytoremediation, particularly in few cases of remediation of some pollutants or hazards. So what are these particular type of phytomaterials you used, and what type of metals and other things you remove?
Now, phytoremediation, actually, this phytoremediation work is done actually few years before. We are using this phyto, very simple, the water hygiene is available in the river. So we found that this water hygiene available in the river, a very good quality to absorb cyanide. So that is actually a simple water hygiene which is available, that materials, that plant we are using. But question is that the retention time is very high.
Very high, yeah.
So that is the question, and for that we are actually try to find out throughout the world that technology. Is it possible that can be 200 meter cube per hour water can be used by this plant, but still now not find out. Now we actually start in a different angle. We have a laboratory in Tata Steel in the metallurgical industry. We have a one genomic gene laboratory. So some of the researchers are working, the plant can be genetically improve it. So the capacity will be, so the retention time can be reduced. So that is the work is going on.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So thank you, Dr. Sarkar, for your outstanding presentation on different environmental mitigation strategies. So that we must be benefited by your lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.